We're coming to you from Witbank, one of the school where learners with special needs are attending. A certain insurance company was here to donate equipment that will help them fight COVID-19 better and assess and identify risks where they are. Over 20 schools in the province will benefit from this, and it will be rolled out to other schools which take normal kids. With me here is the Minister of Basic Education, Motshekga, who will explain further as to how this will work. Minister.
No, thank you very much. Indeed, we're here in Mpumalanga at a special school to come and receive donations for special schools in this district. We have received also from another district. It is a donation from Santam. So Santam has donated your sanitizers, but also equipment that should be used when we disinfect an area which would have been contaminated or infected. And this for us is very important because in the past we've seen schools highly disrupted because they didn't have their own equipment to disinfect when there is a case of infection. So it will help us to manage schools. Schools will even now are being trained on how to use the equipment to disinfect a space. So there won't be any major disruptions in case there is an infection that would have been identified. But more important with this donation, it's the risk management tool that Santam with our officials and our schools had developed in terms of how to detect and manage risk in schools. They've piloted the tool in the Free State. They've trained different schools on how to use the tool because it's very important for our special schools to have a very strong or good tool to manage or detect risk. Because we have schools of children who can see, who really have hearing problems, are physically disabled. So their safety and the risk assessment is very important to make sure that indeed they're not compromised. So for me, that's a bigger one, that it even goes beyond just the consumables, but it's that tool for me which is very key. And the tool is going to be rolled out, which means other ordinary schools will be trained on how to use the tool to assess risk and manage risk that are in the environment. And also how we ensure schools better. You will know that during the lockdown, we had more than 2,000 schools which were vandalized, and we need to really have risk assessment measures in place. Even now, after we've opened, we have 30 schools also which were vandalized, and therefore we need to really ensure our schools, make sure that the risk management systems are in place, and the schools themselves can be able to put in place and manage risks that are posed to the schools.
Okay, will we see people getting held accountable? Should they not use all these things to the benefit of the schools?
It's gifted to us, and we really needed this equipment. So there is no way we cannot even use them. Because as I said, in the past, we used to have a big problem when there is contamination, we're not able to decontaminate. So it's really, there's no way we cannot use it because it's a tool of need and of necessity for us. So there won't be any problem of not using it. And what is good, people are being trained now, our gardeners are being trained to use them. So it's a tool of need. There's no way we can't use it.
Okay, now there is other normal schools, I'd call them ordinary schools. This seem to be a useful tool. Will we see it being rolled out to those?
What I suspect provinces will have to do is to centralize especially this equipment, because we have 25,000 schools. It means we have to buy 25,000 of them. It might be costly. But if it's shared in 5 schools by us, so that we don't rely on outside bodies to come and disinfect our spaces, we keep them either at a second level, so that if there's a report that there's an infection, then we can dispatch people or the equipment to our schools. Special schools are lucky that they'll have an equipment per school, but I don't think as the sector will be able to afford equipment per school. We will possibly have in a second so that we can manage it close, because it's not every day that there's infection, but special schools are very lucky that they'll have their own tool per school.
Thank you so much, Minister. That was the Minister of Basic Education in the country telling us about this wonderful equipment aimed at decreasing the time between disinfection and having a school operating again. Back to you in studio.